It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Grant Olson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Good evening and welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look at your weather forecast. And for the first time in a long time, we have some rain in that forecast. Some showers, in fact, heavy rain is possible on Saturday afternoon late in the day from a line from Omak to the northern sections of Wenatchee. Also by Saturday afternoon, that system will move down to southeast Washington and over into the panhandle of Idaho. We'll keep our eye on that, I should say, because lightning is a possibility. And as I mentioned, that will be for Saturday. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. How is the smoke impacting tourism? We'll take a look. Also, Forbes names Wenatchee one of the best retirement cities, and Vets Serving Vets will host a stand down tomorrow. Later on, we'll have sports, your weather forecast, and our feature story today. But first, a two-vehicle accident 10 miles east of East Wenatchee on State Route 28 has sent a Wenatchee woman to Central Washington Hospital. The accident occurred at around 11 this morning when a Toyota Camry driven by 74-year-old Lynette Rengley failed to slow down for stopped traffic and struck a Volkswagen Jetta driven by 58-year-old Joshua Soski of Battleground from behind. After the collision, both vehicles came to rest in the eastbound lane. Rengley was charged with speeding and no word yet on her condition. The Wenatchee City Council is scheduled to take possible action tonight that could lead to the city's purchasing a portion of the old federal building from its new owner, Local Telecommunications. Mayor Frank Kuntz says it's on the agenda tonight for discussion.
We are moving ever so closely to an agreement with Local Tel to purchase, roughly half of the federal building. We're not there yet. We don't have the condominium association formed yet. We don't have a lot of the I's dotted and T's crossed, but we're moving in that direction. And so this is just another agreement. We're starting to spend some money on architects. We're starting to kind of figure out like where the dividing walls might be and what those might cost to get built and who might have to pay for some of those. And so this is just another agreement, basically working our way towards that process. We're not officially there yet. I think we're a ways away from that. I would say a couple of more months anyhow, but both parties are starting to spend some money to kind of figure out exactly what this would look like. So this agreement just kind of solidifies kind of what we're doing.
So where's the city right now in your discussions about a possible financing plan for such a purchase?
So the initial price, if it's somewhere around $2 million, is something that we can do with current funds in terms of cost to remodel and make it City Hall. We don't have what those numbers look like. We have a kind of we think it looks like about $8 million. We're going to hire some architects, do a little bit of space planning. We'll come up with a number that's a little bit closer, I think, before the council pulls the trigger. Again, if I'm a council member, I really want to have a pretty good idea of what this is going to cost. If it's $8 million, I think they've said, yeah, that's probably a good number. If it comes in at $28 million, I'm guessing they're going to say no. So we got to get some ideas of what those look like. We're working towards that process. We're spending a little bit of money doing some due diligence. And again, I think before the council sees this in final form, they'll have a pretty good idea what this will cost, and we'll have some sort of idea what a financing plan would look like.
Specifically, the council will consider authorizing the mayor to sign a pre-purchase agreement with Local Tel. Tonight's council meeting starts at 5:15 at Wenatchee City Hall. Well, it appears that at least so far, the hazy smoke that's been lingering over north central Washington over the last week and a half hasn't seriously impacted the region's tourism industry. At least that's the word from Leavenworth's Chamber of Commerce manager Nancy Smith. She says hotels and restaurants appear to be doing well.
Honestly, my members would call if they were suffering in any way from it, and be honest to do some additional marketing or work with the news media to get different word out. But what I hear is, according to news reports, we should be clear this weekend.
Smith says sales and hotel tax receipts are actually higher than last summer through the month of June. Forbes magazine has ranked the top 25 places in the U.S. to retire in 2017, and Wenatchee is included on the list along with Boise, Idaho, Colorado Springs, and Savannah, Georgia. The magazine describes Wenatchee as a, quote, scenic, sunny Columbia River city of 33,150 miles east of Seattle on the very dry side of the Cascade Mountain Range. The magazine says Wenatchee has relatively low real estate prices, lots of good doctors per capita, minimal rain, and a high ranking on a national list of the best cities for successful aging. The National Guard Armory in Wenatchee will be a buzz of activity for Friday's Veterans Stand Down. The event helps former military veterans with information about programs and services provided through the U.S. Veterans Administration. The VA works with serving vets of North Central Washington in organizing the event. Organizer Bob Ashford explained on today's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program with host Dan Kuntz.
The VA approached us and they knew that at one time or another, most of the people at the bunker had worked on that stand down. So we knew what it was about. We knew how much work it was going to take. And we had a couple board meetings and decided that we would like to do that. And I hope it's very successful and we get asked again to do it.
The stand down begins at 10 a.m. and is open to all veterans who received an honorable or general discharge from the armed service. We'll have more on the event coming up later on in our feature segment. Coming up, an accidental shooting in Moses Lake injures one, and the Wenatchee Teachers Union issues its school board candidate endorsements. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching NCW Life News.
Today we're watching an intriguing female searching for her ideal habitat.
It appears she's a social creature. Interacts well with others.
What determination! This Sheila can do anything.
Well, I didn't see this coming. She's enrolling in Charter College. Could this be her ideal habitat? Caring for others?
This, not healthy.
Start your evolution at chartercollege.edu.
Come on out to Chelan County Fair. All your friends and neighbors will be there. There'll be cows, there'll be chickens, guitar picking, there'll be plenty of food to be shared. Come on out to Chelan County Fair. Come on out, yo, come on out to Chelan County Fair.
I gotta tell you, I'm nervous. Selling your home, it's a big step.
Can we find the right buyer in this market?
Look at our website. When someone looks at your home, I can tell how ready they are to buy. See that number? The closer it is to 100, the closer they are to buying. So, I know who to zero in on.
So you have a secret weapon.
You mean, we have a secret weapon.
I like that. Oh, what do you think of the wallpaper?
I love that touch.
The Wenatchee Education Association has endorsed a slate of 3 candidates who are seeking election to the Wenatchee School Board. Steve Hare reports.
The Teachers Union representing 500 educators in the Wenatchee School District supports Sarah Knox, Sonny Hemphill, and Michelle Sandberg. WEA President Chris Cameron said her executive board was very impressed by the wealth of professional experience the candidates possess in education, healthcare, communications, and legislative work. In an earlier NCW Life interview, Sandberg said one of her goals is to meaningfully engage more voices in district decision-making.
What I think is different is we have been collecting stories from teachers, from parents, from community members, wondering why their voices are not heard in important decision-making processes. So really looking to collaborate more with all those stakeholders in kind of a new way that's not really being done. It doesn't appear to be being done. And then also just the transparency of our whole district, you know, from committee meetings to administrative decisions to school board meetings. You know, there are some school boards that actually have their school board meetings taped and then put up on YouTube. So I think we can just allow just that transparency in so many ways that's not being currently accomplished. And so our communities have greater access to know what's going on rather than pulling up minutes online, after the fact, maybe a couple weeks after a meeting. So just greater accessibility as well.
Sandberg is running unopposed for the position 4 seat. Sonny Hemphill is running against incumbent Claudia DeRobles, and Sarah Knox is seeking the position 5 seat, currently occupied by Jennifer Talbot. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Moses Lake Police report one person was wounded last night in an accidental shooting at a home on Lakeside Drive and B Street. Officials report it happened shortly before 8 p.m. at the home of a Grant County Sheriff's deputy. The wounded person was being treated at Samaritan Hospital and as of last night was listed in stable condition. Detectives were processing the scene last night, but no additional information was released regarding their investigation. Well, the program is called Small Miracles, and it's providing low-income and homeless kids with nourishment during summer vacation. NCW Life News' Brenda Mandelis caught up with one of the organizers.
I'm here with Linda Belton, the Executive Director of Small Miracles. Linda, what can you tell us about Small Miracles?
Well, Small Miracles is a local nonprofit that's right here in the Valley, and we're in our 6th year of providing the summer lunch program. This is a program that is sponsored by the USDA, and it's all over the country, but for here, it's just Small Miracles that has it. We cover Cashmere, Eastmont, and Wenatchee school districts, so we go from Cashmere to Rock Island at 15 different sites, Monday through Thursday all summer. Between the 3 school districts, there's 8,208 kids that are on free and reduced lunch during the school year. So of that number, 711 of those kids are considered homeless. The Wenatchee School District makes all our lunches for us, and we are most thankful for them allowing us to do the numbers that we can do, and they make sure that we have nutritious lunch utilizing the Farm to School program. We have zero wastage. Anything that's left over, it's brought back and taken to the lighthouse. As of yesterday, we have served 6,099 lunches since June 19th. My rule is nobody goes without. So if they run out, they call and we bring more. So nobody goes without. If they see an older person, an adult, that they feel is hungry, because there's a lot of moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas that are hungry too, and we feed them, Small Miracles picks up the tab for that. We would love any donations. If you're able to do that, you can go on smallmiraclesncw.org, and there is on every page a spot to donate. If you're looking to volunteer, we're also taking volunteers, and you can go on smallmiraclesncw.org/volunteer, and we'd love to have you.
Well, thank you, Linda. Linda Belton from Small Miracles, and we look forward to hearing about some future successes and as well as needs that you have for your organization. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching NCW Life News. Coming up next, Eric Granstrom has your sports update, followed by today's feature story. That and much more still to come on NCW Life News. Stay with us. Is your vehicle in need of a quick oil change or tune-up before hitting the road this summer? Stop by Quick Lube and Tune, the home of the good guys at 610 South Wenatchee Avenue.
On the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Thursday, Megan. I hope your ears are okay. Practice begins next week for high school football teams around the region with a short window to prepare for their September 1st games. Local football officials have already started their preparations. Annually in early August, Chelan County Football Officials Association begins its training for the upcoming season. Spokesman Jerry Anderson says once again they're short of having enough to go around.
The first weekend of the season, we have 4 of our local teams are at home, including Wenatchee and Eastmont. That means we've got to have 18 officials on the field on Friday night. We only have 17 varsity officials. And then we've got 4 or 5 weekends, I forget which, where we have 5 varsity home games on Friday night. Well, on those nights, depending on the night, we got to have 21 or 22 officials on the field. So it's a numbers problem, and We can't handle it. We're getting schools to move a few games. We'll try and borrow officials from other associations, but everybody has the same problem.
And that's just on the varsity level. Doesn't include a severe shortage for junior varsity, C-team, or middle school games. Anderson says part of the problem of recruiting new officials is the unrealistic expectation of parents in the younger aged games. Now, if you're interested in officiating football, call Jerry Anderson. He can be reached at 509-670-2800. Meetings are Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock at Wenatchee High School. A starter package for a hat, whistle, flag, shirt, and pants is $135 and can be deducted from your year-end check. An official earns anywhere from $30 to $60 per game based on the level of play. Even though meetings have already begun, new officials are always welcome. Again, that number to call, 670-2800. Nelson Cruz had 2 monster home runs, and the Seattle Mariners concluded a quick 2-game sweep of Oakland yesterday. 6-3 the final. Kyle Seager got things going for Seattle offensively in the bottom of the first with 2 outs, cranking a 3-run homer to center field. Oakland's Matt Joyce homered off Seattle starter Giovanni Gallardo to make it 3-1 before Cruz launched a 450-foot 2-run shot in the third to make it 5-1. Emilio Pagan worked 2 2/3 of relief to earn the win, while Edwin Diaz finished off the A's in the ninth for his 25th saves. With the win, the Mariners temporarily at least moved into the second wild card spot all by themselves, a half game in front of Kansas City and Tampa Bay. It would be a game by the end of the day. Seattle finished the road trip 6-3 and currently the hottest team in the American League since the All-Star break. Manager Scott Service says the club is really stepping up.
Brought it every day. We talked about bringing it when we started on this trip. You know, knowing that we got so many games ahead of us on the road in August, just embrace it, go after it. Our team's really come together nice, and you know, nice way to end it here. You know, Nelson Cruz, Sieg with the big homers, a great catch by Ben Gamble in the outfield, and you know, Gallardo struggled command-wise early today, a high pitch count, and Emilio Pagan again kind of does what he does. He comes in, throws strikes, nice little breaking ball, and settled the game down for us. And you know, we had enough pitching to shut it down at the end. So you know, it's nice to keep winning series. That's the goal. That's what we talked about coming out of the All-Star break, and you know, it's been really good so far.
Seattle's back home to begin a 4-game series with L.A. tonight. It'll be James Paxton on the mound going up against Tyler Skaggs for the Angels' first pitch at 7:10. Also in the American League West yesterday, it was Los Angeles downing Baltimore 5-1, Texas over the Mets 5-1, Chicago beat Houston 7-1. Also in the wild card race, St. Louis down Kansas City and Boston over Tampa Bay. So the wild card standings have the Mariners all by themselves in that second position in the wild card race. That's a check at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCAA Life Channel. We're all excited getting ready for Seahawks football coming up on Sunday. I'll have more from L.A. coming up next week. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Tomorrow morning, Wenatchee's Vet Serving Vets is hosting the Wenatchee Stand Down. The objective of the stand down is to provide outreach to at-risk and homeless veterans and provide them with the opportunity to connect with other veterans who've gone through or are going through PTSD and other post-service related issues. Doors will be open to all veterans. Steve Hare sat down with Ron Bruno to speak about the event and its importance to veterans and the community.
We're really excited to be able to have the opportunity this year to host a Stand Down 2017. The Stand Down is really, it's kind of an affair for any and all honorably discharged veterans. The orientation of the Stand Down is we really want to get out to our homeless and at-risk veterans in the community. That's our priority. However, that's not saying that it's not open house, so to speak, for all veterans. So the way things are being done this year is on August 11th from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. we're going to be at the National Guard Armory at 1230 5th Street here in Wenatchee. And as the stand down, we are primarily devoted to, like I say, the at-risk and homeless. The doors will be open for any and all veterans at 8 o'clock. From 8 a.m. until noon, we're going to have surplus goods that are going to be given out to the homeless and at-risk. Also, we're going to have available different veteran organizations. We're going to have veteran service officers present. Our VA approved. Some of the veteran service officers are going to be associated with the Chelan County. Some will be associated with the American Legion. We're going to have the Veterans Administration medical bus present. We're also, as always, our community is so great to us in supporting us. We have people from like the Hideaway barbershop here in Wenatchee, down on Wenatchee Avenue. They are going to close down their shop and be giving out free haircuts.
The Stand Down event begins tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock at the Wenatchee National Guard Armory, located at 1230 5th Street. We'll be back in just a moment with the recap of some of today's stories and your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Gather friends and family and support Youth United with Color Rush. This untimed 5K event is for all ages on Sunday, August 20th. Sign up today at colorwenatchee.com.
And now for a recap of our top story. The Wenatchee City Council is scheduled to take possible action tonight that could lead to the city's purchasing a portion of the old federal building from its new owner, Local Telecommunications. Mayor Frank Kuhn says it's on the agenda for discussion.
We are moving ever so closely to an agreement with Local Tel to purchase, roughly half of the federal building. We're not there yet. We don't have the condominium association formed yet. We don't have a lot of the I's dotted and T's crossed, but we're moving in that direction. And so this is just another agreement. We're starting to spend some money on architects. We're starting to kind of figure out like where the dividing walls might be and what those might cost to get built, and who might have to pay for some of those. And so this is just another agreement, basically working our way towards that process. We're not officially there yet. I think we're a ways away from that. I would say a couple of more months anyhow, but both parties are starting to spend some money to kind of figure out exactly what this would look like. So this agreement just kind of solidifies kind of what we're doing.
So where's the city right now in your discussions about a possible financing plan for such a purchase?
So the initial price, if it's somewhere around $2 million, is something that we can do with current funds. In terms of cost to remodel and make it City Hall, we don't have what those numbers look like. We have a kind of we think it looks like about $8 million. We're going to hire some architects, do a little bit of space planning. We'll come up with a number that's a little bit closer, I think, before the council pulls the trigger. Again, if I'm a council member, I really want to have a pretty good idea of what this is going to cost. If it's $8 million, I think they've said, yeah, that's probably a good number. If it comes in at $28 million, I'm guessing they're going to say no. So we got to get some ideas of what those look like. We're working towards that process. We're spending a little bit of money doing some due diligence. And again, I think before the council sees this in final form, they'll have a pretty good idea what this will cost, and we'll have some sort of idea what a financing plan would look like.
Specifically, the council will consider authorizing the mayor to sign a pre-purchase agreement with Local Tel. Tonight's council meeting started at 5:15 at Wenatchee City Hall. And now your weather forecast for north central Washington. Before we get to our satellite picture, let's take a look at our forecast for this weekend. And yeah, rain is in our forecast. We talked about this at the top of the newscast. Saturday afternoon, the potential is there for slow-moving storms with heavy rain, and that's over the Cascades. Could lead to flooding issues, and that's from Omak down to the Wenatchee area. Also, some strong thunderstorms are predicted down in the southeast corner of the state and near Lewiston, Idaho. We'll keep our eye on that. Hopefully, no lightning-started fires from those thunderstorms that will be developing on Saturday. But what we're seeing out there is wildfire smoke from fires in British Columbia, northern Montana, and Washington. They remain trapped under an area of high pressure that will persist at least through Saturday. We'll see a continuation of those 90-degree temperatures as well. There is a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms. We talked about that. Slight chance for tomorrow, a better chance on Saturday, and that will even linger into Sunday or so. Winds will also pick up this weekend, and that will scour out some of that smoke that we've been seeing for so long now. I think we're in our 8th or 9th day of smoky conditions. But notice on the map, the red, pinks, and purples, that's where it will get hot, and we're still seeing that in most of eastern Washington. Let's take a look at that forecast. And tonight, mostly clear skies, 70 degrees our overnight low, 98 to end our work week tomorrow. for the weekend, there's where those thunderstorms come into play, especially Saturday. 93 our high, and then behind that front, a cool down. 85 on both Sunday and Monday. Still lingering showers possible Sunday, and then back to the sunshine next week with high temperatures in the mid-80s. Well, as we all know, we just talked about it, it's hot out there, and this young pup from Moses Lake is staying cool and making a big splash on both Snapchat and YouTube. If you have a video of the day you'd like to see on NCW Life News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCW Life channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Antique Mall at Cashmere is Trade Dollar Coins' new location. Whether you're in search for coins, currency, gold, or silver, you'll find what you're looking for. From coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, find coins rarely seen from around the world. Whether you're buying or selling or need supplies, Trade Dollar Coins is the place to be. Located in Antique Mall at Cashmere. Open 7 days a week.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your Stoke?
I love nature, but I signed up to lease Hondas, not take a hike.
I know, right?
Hey everybody, come on up. The reason why I brought you out here is for a great team building exercise.
Customer wants to talk lifetime warranty. Can I go?
Yeah, go, go, go.
Hey, us too, we gotta go.
Go, 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 go.
Have a fun video you'd like to see featured on NCW Life? Email us at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.